It's not there. You have the worst opinion, like time span thing. You're like Nydia's daughter. She says 10 minutes and thinks it's like 3 hours. Your span of time is insane. It's insane. I just want you to know.
We chalked off the first 30 seconds of this podcast.
It was 3 minutes, but go.
We decided to go again. We got a lot of stuff today. I don't really know. I kind of put it in order where I thought stuff would go. I figured we'd start a ton of XFL stuff. I know we have a lot of rock stuff.
You don't want to talk about the food thing again? You don't want to bring that back up again?
We can bring up the food thing. I just thought it was funny that you... on your other podcast, congratulations on I heard you guys have, you crossed the downloads and everything. You're doing very well. Congratulations. I mean that. But I was listening this week and I heard you were telling the story to your co-host that you walked out your front door and your DoorDash delivery, your neighbor, brand new neighbor was trying to steal your food, but you said that you think he was trying to help you.
I don't know what the intent was, but he had my food. Like the DoorDash guy, the DoorDash person, I shouldn't say guy because I don't know if it was guy or girl, so I want to be I don't want to be gender specific here. Knocked on my door. I put some pants on, and within 10 seconds, I opened my door, and my new neighbor had my food in his hand and then handed it to me. And I'm like,
insane. This is insane.
But he's new to the building, and I was like trying to be cool and chill and not be that guy like right off the bat because people know me as that guy right off the bat, and I don't want that. But Will goes, okay, he's new to the building. Is he new to the earth? Like, you don't do that. That's insane. During a pandemic, I know.
Yeah, we had pizza delivered last night. If I opened the door, my neighbor was holding the pizza for me, that would be insane.
But you know your neighbor a little bit better than I know mine.
Anyway,
right?
My point was I was having a random conversation I see on Twitter. I tagged you about something. I don't even know who this guy was. And then you respond like, not today. I'm not in the mood. But I'm like, okay, so that is the wrath. But then your neighbor has food and that will like let that slide. So I just thought it was interesting, just the balance of like, what is okay.
The balance is messed up. You're right.
That's okay.
You're completely true.
That's okay.
So with that being said, let's move on with the show here. Thank you for listening to XFL Markcast. Before we start, though, want to let you guys know xflshow.com/merch. The merch will be getting a makeover soon. Yeah. I will be uploading some new logo updates. Got a little bit of a headache with our on-demand print distributor. So the XFL Markcast you people out there they're collector's items. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. So the new logos are going up very soon. We'll have those up this weekend. Also, xflshow.com/review. Please leave us a review. We appreciate all the reviews. Do you have any more recent reviews?
We did have 3, which is great. We were doing the mask giveaway. Now these are just coming in from the gracious of people's hearts. I really appreciate that. Like I said, XFL fan, Spring League, fan control football. I know Kenny, I was tweeting with him. He got his mask, that we were doing for the mask giveaway. And he goes, I really do like listening to you guys because I get kind of a little bit of everything, right? Where some of the XFL podcasts right now, they're like, well, what is the Spring League? What's going on? I think I really do try to like get all the news that we can and kind of get all this stuff rounded out. We had 3 come in. Pod Review, great podcast. These guys are passionate and always have good information about all things XFL. That's from XFLFP. That's the XFL fan podcast. I believe I'm in their Facebook group. We have one from Canada, Mr. PA. I can't even look at this one on the thing because I'm not in Canada.
French? Is it in French or?
No, it says, I love, happy this is around. I love the XFL. I'm so sad it won't be around for another year. Thank God this pod is around. Much love from PA from the Not After 30 podcast. And then Danielius says, one of the best podcasts I've ever heard. So there you go. What are you making noise?
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
I just felt it was required to play the Canadian national anthem since we got a Canadian review.
Well, that's the thing, because we get them on Rate This Podcast, which is a great service. You can also go to ratethispodcast.com/XFL. Gets you to the same place. But yeah, I can't even see that review because I'm not in Canada, but they let me know like, hey, you got this Canadian
review. You can if you have a VPN on your phone.
Well, okay. I mean, we're getting in the weeds here. But anyway, so we got 3.
Check it. I will use the VPN on my phone. I'll go check it out and report back to you what the Canadian review is.
Yeah, maybe we're 4.5 stars now.
We're international. We're international now, baby.
We are, but we did get 2 1-star reviews. I think they're from the Attitude Era podcast that we talked crap about.
Either the Attitude Era podcast or maybe a different one that we won't discuss here.
Yeah.
So moving on.
We won't discuss at all.
Yeah. Moving on.
So I feel like we kind of got the 3 big things today. We got XFL stuff, we got Spring League stuff, and then we got fan control football. I kind of want to go maybe XFL fan controlled and then Spring League. So I kind of put everything out here. So of course we recorded I think Wednesday last week, and then lo and behold, we missed news again. Big XFL Black Friday sale coming out. Thanks, Danny. Be great if she could let us know next time. We could just delay
Give us an update. Give us a heads up. Okay?
Yeah. So she did this whole thing, tweeted like, hey, midnight on Thanksgiving, everything's going to go live. So, of course, everybody was going crazy. Of course, your boy Reid was there at 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 Eastern on Black Friday. And there was a new hat, which I ordered.
Obviously.
Dumbest question in the world. And
hi, Mark.
And then there was a new shirt, and then they discounted a bunch of stuff. So I got my lanyard. Remember, I was going to get that dragon lanyard and the thing. So I did get that for the 40% off. So it was like $6.
I do want to comment on the merch you are wearing today.
Oh yeah,
that is awesome. Like we kind of buried the lead here. We kind of he's rocking. For those people that are listening to the audio version of this podcast, he is rocking the replica, not the authentic, but the replica PJ Walker Carolina Panthers jersey. The reason I say it's the replica is because I can tell that the numbers are ironed on and not stitched.
Well, I don't think they make authentic game jerseys for backup QBs that play one game. Yeah, I don't think that exists
really?
Yet. I know. I looked on there because, again, this was thought to be a custom made one that our friend Michael Payne sent in, and then it ended up that no, you could actually buy one. There was actually a PJ Walker one. So if there's an authentic one, I don't think it exists right now. But I got this one, and then by the end
of the show, I'm going to prove that there's an authentic one. By the end of the show.
Well, maybe you could make a custom authentic one that says PJ Walker. This is the PJ Walker. Anyway, PJ Walker, yes, got the jersey, got a shout out from the XFL Instagram account. They liked my photo, which is great because they had not congratulated PJ Walker, and that was also kind of what ended the whole Black Friday thing.
We were upset with that a little bit.
Well, I think I got my point across because then last Sunday. So basically, they did all the Black Friday stuff. XFL Twitter came back online. They finally hired somebody to do social media, which is crazy. They did all the Black Friday stuff. And then they did finally congratulate PJ Walker on doing winning the game last week. Right. And I said, thank you. It's only been 7 days. Glad we finally got that going. But I think I got my point across. I think
you're out pettying me right now with your.
But it was ridiculous. Even Mark on Week in Review with News Hub, he goes, well, the Markcast guys are really kind of upset about this. Because I do. I think it's ridiculous. I think that PJ won his first NFL game. So anyway, so they got it. But yeah, so we got the PJ Walker jersey. That was, yes, side note on that.
Good to hear.
But anyway, yeah, so they did the Black Friday stuff. We got the thing. People were going crazy. It was cool to see. There was a lot of Twitter activity at 9 o'clock on the Thanksgiving night for people buying XFL merch. So, I mean, what do you think about that? I was actually had that question for you. So they did 40% off and then 50% off. They're just trying to get rid of all this old merch, right? To bring in new stuff.
Probably, yes.
Is that
the most likely scenario? Yes.
Is that people are presuming that they're going to keep the same teams, but then just have newly designed merch with new merchandise partners, right? Is that what you're thinking?
They're going to keep the teams in place. It's just they're just maybe there's a redesign coming. Or maybe they're just rolling out some fresh new configurations of the same logos in different, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for?
Variations
or whatnot.
I did so this hat's coming. I think it should be here today or tomorrow. It's shipping, but it's a front hat, whatever, but it's got a massive X on the front. It's huge. And I know from dealing with the merch people with the hats and stuff, they give you this tiny little embroidery window. We want to have these big logos on our hats. This hat's the whole front of that. The logo's the whole front of the hat. So I'm very excited to see this XFL hat, and maybe they'll have some better merch because some of the XFL merch before was kind of sketch. It was a little. Are you still looking for the authentic jersey?
I am, and I have to say that's probably the closest thing you're going to authentic. So the problem is already solved.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, so you didn't pick up any XFL merch on Black Friday? Any Wildcats?
I did not pick up any XFL Wild. Actually, no, wait. I did get the hoodie. I do believe I got the hoodie. Yeah, I did. I actually have the order number up here.
Did you really?
Yeah, I bought a hoodie. Because eventually it'll be cold enough in LA to wear it. I don't know.
That's good. You
can't wear it out. I can't wear it out to dinner because they're shutting us down again.
I saw that. You could have got an XFL Markcast hoodie.
I could have. I could still get one. They could still send me one like a sample order. It's just,
Yeah, we got in trouble. We got a little trouble.
We got a little talking to.
Yeah. So, the other funny thing when The Rock tweeted out the Black Friday thing, because it was like a concentrated effort. Danny tweeted and did like an Instagram thing, and then The Rock tweeted. So Danny Garcia's Twitter is Danny Garcia Co. And The Rock tweeted at Danny Garcia, which is like this random guy. And so but then he just started getting blown up, right? And he's like, I am not it was like he had no clue, obviously, what was going on. But this couldn't have been the first time this ever happened. But so then The Rock took it down and then retweeted it and then took it down again. And he just couldn't get his stuff together. And I'm like, dude, and I'm watching all this real time. I go, man, you are the biggest movie star in the world. So that makes me think, maybe it wasn't him that retweeted you for your birthday.
You're going to steal the thunder from me. You're going to steal my moment. You're going to steal my glory. This is not cool.
No, speaking of stealing the glory, when we get to our Spring League stuff later, we're going to talk about stealing the glory and our friend Josh Davis of XFL News Hub. We'll see if he's listening when we get to this point in the podcast, because I do have some thoughts for that. But anyway, so The Rock's back. We've got XFL merch. We've got I think they were still doing the sale through Monday or Tuesday. I mean, they're just really trying to blow everything out.
Not only that, but let me break something news to you. Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales are all a scam. They're going to be sales all the time. It's just you buy into the hype of I got to get this. I got to make sure I beat everybody out. And within a week they'll restock. So just calm down. Just calm down.
That's like Dorothy loves happy hour. And I have to explain to her, it's just less portions for less money. You could go get a normal thing of fries or a smaller thing of fries at happy hour. And that's our happy hour price. It's no, it's actually less food. If you order, we'll go to Matador and you can get the nachos that are on happy hour and then not. I don't, but they're different sizes because it's different. It's not like you get the same. You don't get the same amount of food for less money. You get less.
I will say this though, that Nydia and I went to happy hour sushi at this place near her house 3 weeks ago, and the portions were ridiculous.
That's good.
The portions were insane. Because they do normally when you do all you can eat specials, they do half the portions and then you get 3 rounds. They were doing full portions and we couldn't even finish the second round. It was that much. So sometimes very small. It's the exception, not the rule to the law. You do get a special. You do get regular portions with happy hours. So yeah.
Well, if you got XFL merch, comment on the video, send us a note, let us know what you got. Like I said, I got my Dragons lanyard and I got the PJ Walker. This wasn't involved with the XFL stuff, but we got that. But yeah, let us know. But it was exciting. It felt like the XFL was alive for 30 minutes. We had XFL Jim was tweeting. We had Jackie, our fan. We had all these people all tweeting and retweeting and what did you get and Zach and all this stuff. So it was cool to see a lot of love out there.
Speaking of love, of course, we talked about the late delay on the congratulations to PJ Walker. Apparently, people are really high on PJ in Carolina. They're talking about the fact that Matt Rule, his coach in Carolina, was his coach at Temple, and they don't think that that he's probably going to go away. This is going to be a one and done thing. And we've discussed it before. Maybe it's a trade bait situation like Garoppolo was in New England. What do you think? Do you think that PJ is going to get a shot either to be the heir apparent for Teddy, or is this a situation where PJ becomes trade bait? Because they also drafted Will Grier.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so, I missed a lot of the Vikings Panthers game on Sunday, which was nuts and went down to the wire. And it was the missed field goal and all that. But Teddy got hurt right at the end and got rocked. And I guess when he went to snap that last ball, his arm was dangling from his side. And he had said he woke up the next day and he goes, I felt fine. It's totally fine. And they have a bye, I think, this week. But I'm man, this is the third time now in 5 weeks that Teddy's getting rocked at quarterback and really getting hurt.
And $20 million a year. When do you shut him down and protect your investment? That's the question. And honestly, I think here's the thing. Teddy understands how competitive it is behind him. You got Will Greer, you got PJ Walker. Teddy, of course, is going to say he's okay. He's going to say he's okay because, like, he knows he doesn't want to be a $20 million backup quarterback. So, Teddy, just if you're injured, man, just say it.
It's frustrating because, PJ went in, did great. It's just, you feel like you got these guys, stuck behind and just not being able to
show
really
what they have.
Yeah, do their potential. And I mean, not that, Carolina played great. That was a good game. I mean, they had those two, I think it was like the two fumble recovers like back to back for TDs. I mean, there was a crazy game, but like, I don't know. It just stinks that you just wish PJ, if anybody would get a shot somewhere else.
Well, from an organizational standpoint, this is what you can do if you're Carolina. If you shut Teddy down for the rest of the year and put either Will Greer or PJ, it doesn't matter who you put. I'm not trying to be biased here. I'd like to see PJ. You put Will Greer or PJ in, you let them kick ass for the rest of the season, maybe put up some great numbers. Then you can go, we need another second round pick. Why don't we try to move Will for a second round pick? Why don't we try to move PJ for a second round pick? You got to think of the big picture if you're the Carolina Panthers organization and say, we have potential starting quarterbacks or maybe solid backups that we can offload to another team to grab a draft pick, maybe third round, fourth round for one of these quarterbacks that we've, either drafted or signed. PJ, I mean, signed as an undrafted free agent. That's awesome. That's an awesome return for their assets. So why don't you think of that big picture? Play chess, not checkers, and roll PJ or roll Will out. That's hard to say for me. Roll Will out and try to get some trade value back for these one of these two quarterbacks. That's my idea.
Yeah. I mean, Carolina's not doing anything this year. I mean, it would be nice to see, but it's, it's the same thing. You had Jordan Ta'amu, sitting on the sidelines. You just wish some of these guys would get, it's kind of like getting signed to WWE, but you're not being used. It's like, okay, well, would you rather be in the XFL or, like AEW, maybe not getting paid as much, or NXT, versus going to the WWE. And then, you're in the NFL, you're on the big roster, you're doing all the stuff, and then you're not getting to play as much.
I mean, there's a situation happening in Denver, and maybe Denver needs to call Colin Kaepernick too, where Denver needs a quarterback. I mean, we saw what happened. They got, honest to God, they got made an example out of for their recklessness. I mean, let's put this as clear as we can. The way the NFL treated the Ravens Steelers as compared to the Broncos was abhorrent. They made an example out of the Broncos, and because the Ravens and Steelers are prestige teams this season, they wanted to make sure they were coddled. Yep. The Broncos they could care less about, but they wanted to make sure this Ravens-Steelers game happened because it just happens to be the game in that division. I know the Browns are 8-3, but come on. Yeah. It's Browns. They're going to finish 8-8 probably. Yeah. And if they don't, you can, bookmark this and say this and use my receipts against me. I don't care. But
it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
The way they treated these two different games is ridiculous. So maybe it's the Broncos that call up and say, hey, are you using PJ? If you're not, let's ship a third round, fourth rounder to you and get a real quarterback in here for Denver, because I don't think any of those guys that are on the roster, regardless if they're wearing masks or not, and they're near the quarterback coach and they got exposed to COVID, none of those guys are good. None of those guys are good. We've seen PJ shows flashes of brilliance, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there?
Speaking of Kaepernick, you gotta love on Thanksgiving when Disco Inferno is like retweeting your takes that Kaepernick should be the QB of the Cowboys. I'm like, why is Disco Inferno? Yeah, the WCW wrestler, for anyone that doesn't know, Glenn Gilberti, right? Totally washed up. I mean, this guy is, Wade Keller always says he has the worst acumen for like wrestling for someone that's been around. So that we don't need to get it.
Wade, come on, stop being a Wade mark right now.
But Wade's like, he goes, I fundamentally disagree with like every single thing that Glenn Gilberti ever has to say. But here's Glenn on there like, oh, you guys are totally wrong. I go, why are you tweeting us about, like, I don't even know you. Like, I mean, at least if I'm talking crap about someone that comes back at me, I'm like, who is Glenn Gilberti?
Here's the thing. Like, I think Glenn actually has an underrated mind for wrestling. And I don't think all of his acumen is I think, and honestly, this is going to be against your boy here, but has Wade ever stepped in a ring?
No.
Glenn Gilberti has, and Glenn Gilberti hasn't injured anyone ever. So I want you to bookmark this, and I want to let you know that I am defending Disco Inferno.
That's
here. I will not allow Disco Inferno slander on this podcast. It's not going to happen.
I know you're a patron of his podcast. It's okay.
I'm a patron of Conan's podcast, but that being said, like Disco Inferno and I chat privately often. Like he's a good guy. Like
okay. So that's why. So I was in the crossfire because I'm like, why is Glenn coming at me about this? Like I'm not defending Kaepernick at all. I'm just tweeting, fan control football stuff.
But see, Glenn and I could disagree, but at the same time, I like Glenn. I think Glenn's a smart dude, and I think he understands wrestling a lot better than Wade. I've never stepped in a ring Keller.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just that.
That's okay.
Sorry,
yeah.
It's true. Wade's just a mark.
No.
Hi, Mark.
So what did you think? Okay, first off, getting off the XFL stuff before we move on to The Rock. Van the man tweeted this at me or texted me. He was like texting me yesterday. I was trying to watch the Steelers Ravens and Van's like texting me about this. I go, Van, we have like 2 hours of football on Wednesday. Like, could I just watch this? And then you can text me XFL stuff like the 100 other hours of the week, but you can buy XFL footballs on Amazon now.
That's good.
Who knew? There's only like 10 per one, so maybe they're gone now. But if you want an XFL football, they're not on XFLshop.com, but you can get one on Amazon.
I wonder if was it a Chinese bootleg situation like your Houston Roughnecks?
Well, it's through Amazon, but it was weird. I mean, I just think that's really bizarre, but it showed 6 left on this one, whatever. I think the XFL shop was selling like the mini footballs, but like all the Dragons ones are gone, or else, I would get that. But I did think that was interesting.
Speaking of XFL, old school XFL, Jim Ross has talked about his time commenting on the XFL. Again, one of the reasons probably it failed. I'm sorry. I have to say that the original 1.0 version of the XFL tried to be too much like a wrestling show and a competitor to the NFL as opposed to being a supplement. And of course they paid, wasn't Jerry Lawler involved in commentary too on the original XFL?
There was a lot of WWF stuff it was like way too much. It was like wrestling people trying to do.
Jesse Ventura was there, remember, because they had that little gimmick between one of the coaches and Jesse Ventura. They were trying to make a storyline there. Jim Ross has opened up about his time commenting on the XFL. He got paid $15,000 a game, which is great money.
That's great.
I would take that to sit there behind a booth for 3 hours and call a game. I've done that before.
Is that like low? Like, what does Joe Buck get per game?
Oh, it's
like milli.
Not per game, maybe, but per year. Joe's like $15 million per year, but Joe does NFL and MLB. And as much as people hate on Joe, he's kind of like in terms of Michael Cole for WWE. You can hate the guy all you want, but at the end of the day, who do you trust more to call these games or these matches? If you're Michael Cole, you trust Joe Buck because he's a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
And is his name Chris Collinsworth, right? That's the other announcer.
Oh yeah. Well, you heard about this, right?
Well, I saw that. I was like, because I only caught 10 minutes of the game yesterday because Van's tweeting me. I've got this client was calling me about the weather for a shoot next week. I go, why are we talking about this? I'm trying to watch Wednesday football for the first time in 40 years. And I heard him. He was talking oh yeah, I was walking around Pittsburgh and the women, and I heard that. And then of course today it comes out canceled Chris Collinsworth or whatever. He was saying how he was talking with a lot of female fans and he was surprised that these girls knew football stuff, right? And then people were like, "You're canceled. You're canceled. You can't say that." Yeah,
I know. Come on, man. It doesn't matter. Gender doesn't.
I know.
Gender doesn't you're with me here. Gender doesn't make you less smart and able to have an acumen about a sport.
It's just hard when you're on national TV talking for they're just trying to fill. I don't know. I just have sympathy for these guys, guys, girls, whoever. You're trying to fill time. You say one thing and then he's not a jerk, right? I don't know. Maybe he is a jerk.
If you're going to cancel Chris Collinsworth, cancel him a long time ago for saying, here's a guy.
Yeah.
That's all Chris Collinsworth says is, here's a guy who da-da-da-da-da. Cancel him for that. Yeah. Not about his comment, but it just shows that Chris is out of touch. He's older. We're not condoning it. We're not, saying we're not giving him a pass.
No.
But Chris just doesn't understand that women these days care about sports, not just because, the jerseys are great.
Yeah,
there's a lot of women that know a lot of things about sports that I don't even know.
Oh yeah.
And it's acumen for sports is not limited to gender. And unfortunately, Chris got caught up in that.
It's just weird. I told Dorothy this. I have a really weird timing for seeing like I said, the 10 minutes of the game I watched, like I saw that, right? Like what are the chances of the 4-hour thing that I would turn it on and see that? Like I saw it when like Teddy got hit or when Nick Folks get hit. Like I see these things and it's just really weird. Like I'm not even like, it's not like I got NFL on. I mean, I try to watch as much as I can. But like I got NFL on 24/7. But it is weird. Like I'll just see this stuff and now I'm like, oh yeah, I saw it. I heard that. I heard Chris and him getting canceled for that. That's crazy.
So did anyone else try out for the Broncos quarterback situation? You were talking about Jordan Tamu. Did that I'm sorry, we might have like passed over that.
No, so I was just saying to give him a chance. No, Mike Mitchell reported that there was a couple XFL guys. The kicker, Taylor Russolino, he's always on there. He's trying out for Denver. And then you have this quarterback, Taylor Heineke, and he is trying out for the Washington football team. And what was interesting about that was back to the Broncos. They are, I guess, going to try. The NFL is going to try to allow some of these teams now to have like an extra backup QB like at home. So if this Broncos thing happens, like you could, in case of emergency, break glass as opposed to having to do. But anyway, there's a couple of XFL guys getting some tryouts. That Taylor Russolino posted a lot on there.
Oh, cool. Well, with that being said, let's clear that out. Let's take a little break here. Come back. We're going to talk about fan-controlled football. I believe that's what we're going to do next, right here on the XFL Markcast. And we're back.
We're back.
So, fan-controlled football. Miro, you're a coward.
I'm like rant ready now. This is ridiculous. And I'm telling you right now, I mean, spoiler alert, like we're probably changing teams. I mean, this is like controversy going on. We'll get into the, Fan Control Football announced the logos today. They announced all the jersey alternatives or the options you can vote on for the jerseys and the colors. They're awesome. Miro, my man. So Miro is a wrestler, Rusev in WWE. Now he's Miro in AEW.
Best man.
Yeah, and I thought, this will be cool. We'll support the Beast. We got Marshawn Lynch. He's the owner, Seattle Seahawks. And then we've got Miro. Mike Tyson, he's also involved, but I'm not like a Mike. I mean, Mike's great, but I'm sure he's a fine fellow. But Miro, I thought this would be cool. Maybe we can get Miro on the podcast, right? Like we're wrestling fans. We are big Rusev people. We have all the merch. We've cheered him for years. This guy wastes more time arguing with fans online and like responding to haters and not, I'm like, Miro, come, like you chose to be involved in fan control football, right? Presumably, like, I don't know if they pay these guys or if I don't know what that relationship looks like, but you have chosen to be a part of this. We are trying to reach out to you to like, would you like to come on and talk about fan control football? No response, but he's arguing with people like, why are you deleting tweets that are talking about me?
Come on, coward.
He's a coward.
Yes.
It's crazy. I don't understand.
We're not even we're not even healing on you, Miro. We just want to like chat and get like the word out there about fan control football. And we figure like, you're a great talker. We know you're a great talker. You weren't able to showcase as great as you were in the WWE, but come on the Markcast and let's chat about the fan-controlled football. It's very easy. No, I mean,
I learned my lesson with Charmin Jones. Like, I am not trying to mess around with guys. I reach out. I go, hey, Miro, we're with XFL Markcast. We're trying to cover this thing. It's crazy to me. So originally, because earlier in the week, I saw that Miro was on Cameo, and we're not going to pay Miro. We're not going to do that. But my idea originally was going to be Miro charges whatever it is, $120 or $200 or whatever to go on Twitter or to go on Cameo and do a thing. I was going to say, hey, Miro, we'll donate that to charity if you want to come on, right? Because I'm not going to pay Miro to come on to promote like Miro stuff, but I would gladly help support the charity if Miro wants to do that. But now, like, I'm off that. Like, I'm totally off. Like, Miro is a coward. And I'm like, you waste all this time, like, arguing with people on Twitter. It's crazy.
Twitter trolls. Like, I don't get it. And you like the Wild Aces jersey. They released the jerseys today as we record this. You like the Wild Aces jersey. Maybe we switch to Wild Aces. Maybe we're just like F this on the Beasts.
I think so. I was going to be with the Beasts. I think the Aces, so they released the logos. Our Beast logo didn't win, the big ugly blob thing that was the... Womp womp. So I was kind of sad about that. Anyway, the Beast logo is kind of like this dragon looking thing. It's kind of like a dinosaur. It's kind of weird. So the Wild Aces are Greg Miller and the Kind of Funny guys. I've listened to them for years, like back when IGN and all that stuff. And then they left and they started Kind of Funny. And So the Wild Aces logo is basically just Nick Scarpino, who is like one of their guys. It's literally just his face because they all have like 1 billion Twitter followers. So they're like, hey, vote this one to win. So I'm thinking, and when I said today, I said, hey, I'm thinking about switching to the Wild Aces. Greg Miller retweeted or, whatever, responded to me and was like, come on over. The water's fine. So Miro is a coward, and we might be all in on the Wild Aces.
T-shirt. Miro is a coward. I like that idea. Miro is a coward.
I want that to be the episode title today. Miro is it Miro the coward or Miro is a coward?
Miro is a coward.
Okay, is that cool? Can we do that?
Yeah,
okay,
totally. That's done. Okay. Miro is a coward.
Miro is a coward. But anyway,
and we'll take it back if you just come on the show.
Oh, gladly. I am very fair weather on this right now. I could go either way. I tweeted back at Greg. I said, our loyalties for this team are very much dependent on who comes onto the XFL Markcast to promote their team first. But did you see the logos? I might try to put this up on the video if I remember. I did forget one of the Rock tweets last week. I apologize about that. We have the Glacier Boys. It's like a polar bear. Is Glacier Boys? Is that like I'm so cool like ice?
It looks like a beer label.
It does.
It looks like a beer label.
It does. Do we? I mean, it's cool. I think but is that like the polar bear glacier? Am I missing like a pop culture reference here?
I don't think you are. And it's the Z.
Yeah, glacier. And it's like Quavo. This is the, like, is it like, like I'm all like iced up.
Icy stunting. Yeah, I think that's what it means.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Glacier Boys. We got the Beasts. I don't like this at all. I don't like the colors. I don't like anything about the Beast.
Yeah, look, it's terrible. The Blob would have won. The Blob would have been better.
The Blob would have been great.
It would have been totally like ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fan control football. So we got the Beast, and then we've got the Wild Aces. So this is the one, like it's like Nick Scarpino. Like I'll find a photo, but it's literally just him with a beard. And they said, hey, we want this to be our logo. And so all their people voted. And then the Zappers is terrible. This is like awful. Awful. I like the colors.
Graphic design is my passion. This is ridiculous. These logos aren't that great.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like the Wild Aces one. So then I want to find the
looking at these now, though, it looks like they're catering these logos to like the video game market. Like these are logos that video gamers would have as their little Twitch logos.
Did you delete my Oh, we got to look at the jersey still. I was going to say I think you cleared that off.
Well, I cleared it out because I clicked the link and it was deleted. It said this tweet has been deleted.
Yeah, they messed up. So when Fan Control Football originally like tweeted the thing out today, they're like, "Hey, everybody vote." The link was totally dead, and so I like responded to him. I'm like, "Hey guys, like you might want to fix this before you." So we've got the jerseys here. And I'm telling you, so there's 3 variants for 4 teams. I would buy like 10 of these right now. Don't tell Dorothy, but I mean these are like really cool.
She listens to the Markcast, so she's gonna know in like 24 hours.
So do you need me to send you this? Or are you gonna look at this? I just posted it in the Google Doc.
Flippin' Google Doc.
So the Glacier Boys, we've got 3 different ones. Their colors are blue and like white and red. So number 1 is like this gradient variant. So it's like blue at the top and it's got like these cool shoulder, like wing things and then down to a red. The second one is like a GB kind of like fade on the side. Are you looking at this? You see this?
Which one?
Like number 2. And then number 3's got the cool like side panels, like the side, like for the Glacier Boys jerseys. I mean, these are pretty cool. What do you think about these?
The Glacier Boys, like the light blue ones, look like the Puerto Rican flag a little bit to me.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. If you had to vote for one of these, would you vote for 1, 2, or 3?
I'd vote for 2. I like the light blue.
Yeah.
I've always liked the light blue scheme.
The gradients are getting a lot of love on there, but yeah, I would either go 1 or 2 on that. 3 is cool with the side panels, but that red is kind of a little lot. The Zappers, I think these are really cool. Really cool.
The gradients look best to me. If you're going to go a second choice, the second one is the second choice for me.
Yeah.
I don't like the side. It looks like a Van Halen guitar on the side.
It does. It reminds me of my John Cena jersey, my old school like camo one with with the Doctor of Thugonomics, and he had the camo, and it kind of like where the sides have it. It kind of reminds me of that. But yeah,
you just admitted you have an old school John Cena jersey.
I have many John Cena jerseys.
Oh hi Mark.
But yeah, they're cool though. Because I hate the Zappers logo, but I think all these look really cool. Like I think the red or the orange with the yellow chest, I think is pretty cool. For the Beast, these are all terrible. These are all terrible.
Yep. Don't like them.
They tweeted the first one, number one out. They go, "What do you think about this?" I said, "The Tampa Bay Vipers want their jersey back."
That's accurate. That's completely accurate. The color scheme and everything, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, okay, green and like other greens don't look good. Like jersey people don't. I mean, 2 is cool because you've kind of got the beast like thing on the shoulder pads. So I kind of like that. I mean, if you had to pick one, that green and black like gradient one for number 3.
The only time greens work with something similar to green is when it's like a dark blue, like the Seahawks,
like the Seahawks, or
like the Mariners.
Dragons.
Like the Dragons. That's the only time it works. This is just, I could see why you want to switch to the Wild Aces. These jerseys just say Vegas to me.
These are awesome.
Like you would just see this team playing in Las Vegas. You're like, okay, that's a Las Vegas team.
I mean, I don't think I could pick one of these. I think I would want all 3. I mean, I would buy all 3 of these right now if they had them on sale.
I prefer the blacks, but yeah, I could see all 3 being definite. It's hard to pick one of the aces for sure.
That the black with like this this stuff going on up here at the top, like the shoulder pad area, is very, very cool. I mean, these are great colors. This says everything about the team. Like I said, it's kind of funny. It's them, and they're big and loud and stuff. So that's nuts. But
solid.
But anyway, so fan controlled, we're all in. They're saying they're going to be, it's kind of like arena football. You're going to be able to vote. Right now, the voting's on. You can go on to, it's like fcf.io. Their website's kind of weird, but you can go on and do all that and vote. And then, they're rolling through it. They're going to start in February. It's going to be like 6 weeks of football, and it's going to be cool. And we're going to cover it.
Very cool. And let's, before we get into the, garbage time portion of our show, let's just touch on the Spring League stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening with that lately?
So just a couple quick tidbits. So Josh Davis of XFL News Hub said he talked to Brian Woods earlier this week. Supposedly the game is going to be the championship game that got canceled. Remember, they canceled week 4 of the Spring League. And then the championship game was supposed to be last night on Wednesday. We're recording on Thursday. I should be flying back literally from San Antonio right now. And so the game is going to be December 15th. They're saying it's going to be in Orlando. So I don't know, Paul, it's kind of one of those things that, yes, the championship game is still happening, but do we care when it's December 15th?
I don't think anybody cares.
I mean, it's like, it's not a thing now. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of a thing. It's like a tournament. It'd be like if you like stopped the NFL season and then played like the Super Bowl in a month.
Yeah. I don't think anybody cares anymore. I think we're all checked out at this point. And it's no offense to like Brian or any of the hard work that any of the people have been doing with the Spring League. I just think this season's a bust. Let's just try it again next year. Start again.
Yeah. Like I would focus on like new efforts as opposed to trying to do this. The cool thing was though, and the Alternate Football League football Twitter account, it's the Alt Football. Oh my gosh. Cause I want to get it right.
Something. Yeah.
The Alternate Football Scouting Report. It's at Alt FB Scout. He messaged me this morning that because this is what he does. He was looking at the Spring League's Wikipedia page. And when they were talking about the championship game supposedly still happening, it was kind of like they had, how they do like the history of the organization, like 2017, 2018, 2020. Then they were talking about the controversies of all this year and what happened with coronavirus. And we got credited. We got a credit for
the citation. Yep.
Yeah, which I thought was cool. I mean, I don't know anything about that stuff, but he, anyway, I just thought that was cool. That basically, because Brian came on our podcast and said that they were going to do the championship game and all the plans, we got a citation on Wikipedia. So who knew? We're doing real journalism.
You woke up this morning and were like, dude, we got a citation. I was like,
oh, hi, Mark.
So,
but I will say, nothing takes the steam out of getting anything cool quicker than when you tweet that and then someone else goes, oh yeah, I also have like 6 of those. Josh, I love you. I love Josh. I don't even know if he listens this far on the podcast. Like, you don't have to one up everybody all the time. Like, Josh is a great journalist. I love him. He's been on the show. I love him. Nothing is more like, to like be excited about that and be like, well, yeah, I also have that times like 6. That's great. And tweet about that tomorrow. Don't like retweet my tweet. That would be like if you won an Emmy and then I was like, yeah, well, I also, which I haven't won an Emmy, maybe like, well, I also won a thing, just let people have their moment.
people have their moment, Josh, and we've got our verification, so it's all good.
I mean, I don't want to. There's no hate, but it's just like
No, there's no hate.
I'm just like, man, just let me have like 10 minutes. 10 minutes of like, this was cool. Like we did the work. Brian came on. We did the whole thing.
Okay, but you have to understand something. Like in my work, in my line of work as a journalist at KTLA, like times my stuff has been cited in Wikipedia articles. It's like this is a starting fledging thing. Like this is the first time we've been cited in Wikipedia. Just let it be. Like you don't have to exactly. Don't be the Mr. Me Too. That's just like not like a Me Too movement, but like, oh, me too. Oh, me too. Oh, me too. Don't do that. Yeah. Just don't do that.
So you have Wikipedia credits?
Yeah. I mean, there's different like Wikipedia sites that have linked to stories that I've shot. So in essence, yes, that's me contributing to a Wikipedia thing, but it's not like a big deal.
Well, I also have a Wikipedia credit now. So there you go. There you go. It doesn't even matter anymore.
All right. For the audio podcast people, we're sorry. We got to take a little break here and add some commercials in, and then we'll be right back with our fun segments. So enjoy that. All right. We're back.
This is like the bonus. This is the Reid.
This is like the funny thing, the garbage segment, so to speak. Speaking of garbage, someone's garbage found their way into Wheelhouse's Sunday Brunch. We actually took that segment from Sunday Brunch. We're going to play it on Wheelhouse this week as well. So Reid doesn't have to pay the $3 to hear the Sunday Brunch. Reid will be guest starring on this week's episode of Wheelhouse before he has to take a nap.
Did a little run in on that. Yeah, Will and I had a fun little segment where I bought an XFL hat and then shipped it to him, and he bought a Wheelhouse hat and shipped it to me. And it was funny because I heard on the podcast, you go, "Oh, Will, I saw you bought another hat today and a hoodie." And I was like, because, I know, right? I mean, you see when people are buying stuff. And so, but then we tricked and we circumvented the system.
See, it wouldn't have like raised a red flag if Will bought another hat, because I'm just like, oh, hi, Mark. About Wheelhouse merch, because of course the only person that buys Wheelhouse merch is Will, apparently.
But if Will would have bought a Markcast hat, you would have been like, something is askew.
If you no.
Oh, if I had bought a Wheelhouse hat, yeah.
If you had bought a Wheelhouse hat, I'd been like, okay, something's up.
Yeah, something's
because Reid could care less. I'm kidding. Reid actually has been very supportive of the show recently. I'm going to give you some props here. And if Will had brought a Markcast hat, I would have been like, well, Will's just supporting the Markcast because that's what Will does. Because believe it or not, Will's a very supportive guy. Nice guy. And so, yeah, I wouldn't have raised any red flags. But if you bought the Wheelhouse hat, I'd be like, okay, something's up. Something's going on. Some kind of chicanery is happening here. So
yeah, check out Wheelhouse this week. That'll be good. I'll check it out. I listened to the one today, but yeah, I got a guest spot on that. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, congratulations on that. You made Wheelhouse. I didn't think we would ever get to a point so early where the imaginary beef between the two shows dissipated enough to have you show up. But hey,
I'm trying.
We're adults. We're growing. There's always a constant flow of growth. So
nice.
Nice. Are you gonna eat this Dwanta Claus?
Oh my God, this is terrible. Okay. Santa Claus is a thing. Okay. Dwayne Johnson is a name. You can't just combine words and have it be Dwant. That's not even a word. You can't even.
I don't know how to pronounce this.
Dwayne's got like this new. The Rock's got this new holiday ice cream. It's Terramana flavored ice cream.
Shocking.
It's shocking. And I want you to play. So the Twitter one, I'd like you to play. If we can play the audio from that. I don't want to get flagged, but this is not. You can't just combine words and I'm Dwayne Johnson, so I'm Dwanta Claus. Like that's not a thing.
Where is the Twitter thing that you're talking about? Is it in the link here?
Yeah, this first one, this Knowles. No, well, here I can play it. I got it here. I'll do it.
The Knowles at all?
Best holiday treat. It's his line of alcohol-infused ice cream.
Here comes Dwanta Claus. Here comes Dwanta Claus. Right down Dwanta Claus Lane.
Stop this.
This is terrible.
Open up the freezer to deliver you the world's best ice cream. Coming at you again.
Doesn't even time out.
So the Rock teased his new flavor of Dwanta Claus on Instagram. It is called Dwanta's Terramana Spiked Eggnog. It's made with his own.
Sounds terrible. Spiked eggnog. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is the lead story this week on the Markcast. And Paul was like, absolutely not. But anyway, The Rock, we gotta whatever. He's killing it. But yeah, it was funny though in the video when he opens the fridge, it's just like 16 bottles of Terramana and then like all these little pints of ice cream. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sure the Rock just that's all he has in the freezer. I'm sure he just is just eating ice cream all the time.
Marketing genius. All he does is eat ice cream and drink Terramana. Apparently, it's all he's doing. Yeah, cheat days happening all the time. Yeah. No, and I'm sorry. Argue with the wall. Eggnog is gross.
Oh, it's
eggnog
terrible.
is just the worst.
It's terrible. Eggnog flavored tequila ice cream could not be a worse thing.
Okay, eggnog only goes with rum. Stop, and it's gross anyway. Stop. There we go. We're done. We're done talking about this.
Are you gonna watch? I know we've talked about this before. Are you gonna watch Young Rock?
No, I watched something called Everybody Hates Chris, so I'm good.
This was like this got everywhere. I saw this Rock. The Rock had a float.
Oh, that was funny though.
It was like him, the famous picture of The Rock, like back in the 90s. It's like him leaning on the thing and he's got the fanny pack and like everyone. That's so spoiler alert too for Halloween next year. That is also a way to get, if you want to get retweeted by The Rock, also dress up like him as 1995 or whatever, like The Rock. He's got like the curly hair and the fanny pack, but he retweets all those too. So buy Terramana tequila, he'll retweet you, or dress up like The Rock for Halloween and he'll retweet you.
That's what happens. That's how you get a retweet. Or somebody apparently runs his Twitter account will retweet you, as Reid has completely stolen my thunder. I'm very disappointed in this. We talked about jerseys. I want to say this.
Okay.
NHL, Adidas.
Oh, yeah.
You cowards. Release more reverse retros, please.
So I want to ask you about that. So the NHL, right, getting up for the season, they made all these cool retro jerseys, right? They're just out of them? Is that what's going on?
I don't know if they've released the Devils yet. I think they're trickling them out. And it's frustrating because it's like, release them all right now, because I've been dying because Kevin Smith, film director Kevin Smith, has a reverse retro Devils because he's from New Jersey. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to kill you and take your jersey because I want that green and red. I know it looks like a Christmas tree. I know already. I know. Stop. Don't at me. I understand. It looks like a Christmas tree, but I love that thing.
Yeah, you want it.
I did buy a reverse retro, the Las Vegas one.
Oh, that'd be cool. Don't tell James Frostwind that you bought that.
Don't tell who?
James, your boy James.
My boy James
from our wrestling group.
Oh yeah, no.
James is a huge Vegas mark.
A Vegas whatchamacallit mark?
Vegas Gold Knights. Oh,
so speaking of reverse retros too, since you are getting a hockey team.
Yep.
Congratulations. Yep. You've got Kraken tickets. You're a crack mark as you also you want to enable screen sharing real quick so I can show you something?
No, because they screws up my video edit. Please don't. Honestly, it gives it like this weird resolution and I can't handle it.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pop this in the Google Doc and I'm going to show you, because this reverse retro thing is probably not going to go away. So I'm going to pop this real quick in the Google Doc to give you a look at what your reverse retro is going to look like probably soon with the
that's hot, man. It's like a Freddy Krueger.
It is. And they're going to do that with the Kraken colors. That's going to be your reverse retro.
I like that.
You would roll with that?
Yeah. No, and last time we did the screen sharing, it wasn't like, it made the resolution of the video like 5,000 by like 2,000 or something. And like Final Cut was like, I don't even know like how to handle this.
Fair enough. Then you're seeing it on your site. Yeah, can you actually put it in right this time?
Yeah, we'll drop it in. Dorothy said that too last time. She goes, you didn't put in when we were talking about the reverse retro. She goes, you didn't put in the New York one that Paul was talking about. I'm like, I forgot. I'm sorry.
It's anyway, okay. You also forgot to put the Rock's tweet on our.
I put them on all the promos. I did forget.
So anyway, that's probably what your reverse retros are going to look like.
Keep it on there. Keep the link on there because I'll save it.
My bad. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Thank you. I'll put that on.
No edits. We're going.
Yeah, we got a couple last tidbits here. This is funny. On Twitter, someone tweets at Chad Johnson. They go, Chad Ochocinco. They go, hey, who would you want to have to be at your Thanksgiving? And he goes, Chad Ochocinco.
Why not?
Why not? Just dinner for one. Who would you want to have? What NFL or XFL star would you want to have at your Thanksgiving?
What
Glenn Gilberti?
Glenn Gilberti. The reason why I said Glenn Gilberti is because he just barely messaged me because we're talking about California shutting down. He just says brutal.
Dude,
that's all he said.
I didn't know you and Glenn were such good fans. Maybe you should have him. Does he watch the XFL? He could come on the podcast.
I'll hit him up and see because he does do the pod. Conan won't do a podcast except for his own.
Okay.
Maybe he'll do like the Bruce Pritchard one or whatever, but he'll never do a podcast that doesn't register. But I think we can get Glenn on ours. So I'll hit him up and I'll say, Glenn, you want to come on and shoot the crap and and then we can play shoot the breeze and we can play the clip right, defend Glenn against your boy Wade. I've never stepped into a wrestling ring, Keller, and Glenn can know that despite our disagreements about political things, I actually like Glenn a lot. I think he's a very smart guy in the world of wrestling. So, are you going to watch the Rock TV show? Did you say you're going to watch that?
I mean, I think I'm going to have to check it out for the podcast, right? I mean, I think that's clearly going to be something that we talk about.
That sounds like what's going to happen. I mean, you can watch it and give me the review. I guess I just don't have any.
It looks cool. I saw they were showing like some behind the scenes of like them shooting, and they show him learning to wrestle and like his whole. I mean, The Rock's got this whole wrestling family, and his dad was a wrestler, and his grandpa, all this stuff. I mean, I think it could have some WWE ties, and if you see Rocky Senior, doing stuff. I mean, right? I mean, it's not like The Rock. Would I want to see the young John Cena movie? Like, no. But I mean, The Rock has a ton of history, right, with the wrestling industry, and I think you could have a lot of run-ins.
The photo that I saw, the still photo from the back behind the scenes, was whoever's playing Andre the Giant is picking Rock up. I was like, wow, they're going to incorporate some Andre the Giant stuff. And I don't know if you guys have seen the Andre the Giant documentary on HBO. I think it's on network now. That's a tremendous documentary. It's a tremendous look inside Andre the Giant, his life. As short as it was cool that we got to see him. I know Reid was probably too young to understand, because I'm 7 years older, 8 years older. So I grew up watching Andre matches, so I'm a little bit more familiar, but it's a great watch. If you haven't seen the Andre the Giant documentary, please take the time, check it out. It's great.
Anybody want the peanut?
Anybody want the peanut? Your boy Chase and Nick gone from The Bachelorette.
Just like dust in the wind.
Poor Chasen. I mean Brandon Silvers, I'm sorry.
I have been. This is not.
You cowards! Come on the Markcast. Prove you're not the same person.
I have been trying, man. I have been tweeting at Chase, or not tweeting. I've been on Instagram with Chasen, and I posted. We don't this photo below, but like when I watch The Bachelor and dumb stuff, like I'll take photos and like do on put them on Instagram or whatever. And Chase and Nick, I'm like, okay, what's Chasen doing? Not coming on the Markcast, right? I mean, what's he doing now? He's off the show. He can't do anything. He is posting photos of The Mandalorian.
That's what he's watching The Mandalorian. I mean, and the big news, The Mandalorian, spoiler alert, Rosario showed up. Rosario Dawson's there. Have you watched The Mandalorian?
No.
Get into it, dude. No. You're missing out.
No, it's
Sasha Banks is on The Mandalorian, you mark.
No, it's like they made this thing, and then now it's like, okay, we didn't call. I don't like that. Hey, we didn't call Baby Yoda anything for a year, and now it's whatever it is. And that's like a big deal. It's like, so this made up thing that you didn't call a name to it, and now you're calling this made up thing a made up name, and now that's like news.
It is, because Mandalorian's one of the best shows out there right now. It's so good.
Maybe you and Josh Davis could talk about The Mandalorian.
Maybe you just need to watch it. Maybe just because you get around to Sasha Banks, be like, okay, Sasha's here.
I don't have Disney Plus. Sorry.
Dude. Oh, wait, you don't have Verizon. That's right. Because Verizon gave you a free year of Disney Plus.
No, not going to happen. You try to sell Dorothy on watching The Mandalorian. What is this? Have we seen the guy's face yet?
You don't see the guy's face. You never see the guy's face.
You're going to at some point, right? It's going to be.
No, I don't think you do.
Well, I don't know.
You have to see his face to like the show, Reid.
Well, I just think it's like, again, they're just making this up. It's not.
Everything is pretty much made up. 75% of the stuff you watch is made up. You think The Bachelorette is real? That stuff is scripted too. Get out of here.
But it's like, they just made this. I don't know. It's like this arbitrary. I just saw. They call Baby Yoda Rogadu, or what was this?
Grogu.
It's stupid. You could call it Poop Man. I mean, whatever. I mean,
Poop Man.
In that Wikipedia article where we got.
I saw Corey Poop Johnson.
Yeah, it says on there, Corey Poop Johnson has a place in the Wikipedia history. Us in Poop Man.
Oh, you call it Poop Mate. That was a good reference there. Nice little throwback. But you need to check out The Mandalorian, dude. It's actually a really good show. It's actually, you don't really have to know much about Star Wars. I don't know if you were a big Star Wars mark as a kid. It doesn't seem like you are, because if you were, you'd probably be all over this Mandalorian thing.
I mean, I've seen them.
I mean, Disney Plus has all the Marvel movies. I mean, you buy it for like a month and just catch up on the stuff, and then discontinue it. They'll give you a free trial.
Quick.
Yeah, they'll give you a free trial.
Real quick on our bonus segment. When I was in middle school, Attack of the Clones came out, and my friend Nathaniel, his dad worked for Microsoft, so they got like a private screening. He got to leave school to go watch like Attack of the Clones. You know, we're all like so jealous, right? Like we can't believe like Nathaniel gets to go skip school, get to go see this. You know, and that movie's terrible, right? I mean, it's an atrocious movie. So then we go that Friday, we got opening, but he got to see it like on Tuesday or whatever. So we go Friday, like right after school, we're going to watch it. And we're, you know, all week he's been talking like, this was the best movie. This was so good. And like we're sitting there, we're going, this is the worst crap we've ever seen. And we're like, I'm sitting there making fun of it in the theater. I'm like, this is terrible. He turns out, hey, shut up, man. Like in the middle of the theater and starts yelling.
And then you were like, oh, hi, Mark. And that was that.
Yeah. This last little tidbit, this is random. Remember like week 2 of the podcast when we talked about the NFL guy getting the needle shoved in his rib?
Yep.
He's not going to sue.
He's not going to sue.
No, it says sources say that QB Tyrod Taylor has declined to file a grievance against the team and its doctors after painkilling shot mishap in mid-September led to a puncture in his lung.
I would have sued.
There you go. He had 60 days to inform the team, and he's not doing it. I thought that was like, because we talked about that like week 1 or 2. I mean, that was old Markcast stuff, but I saw Ian Rappaport.
Cool. So rap sheet, put it out there. I don't know why he didn't sue. I would have done it. NFL, your career is already short as it is. Get all the money you can.
Yeah. That Ian Rappaport, he does all his stuff now in like he's got an apartment or something. You know, it's all virtual. He has the worst audio for someone that is on like every show all the time. I see him on everything talking about football stuff. He has like a fax machine or something running in the background. Like, cause he has a mic on, like he has a lav mic on. And I almost want to tweet at him with my verified account and be like, can you please unplug whatever this stupid thing is that's like right off camera? Cause that's all I do is I hear him and it's like in the background.
The fan, like, maybe?
It's really terrible for someone that's on like national TV all the time. He really needs to get his act together.
Someone needs to talk to him, like from operations, be like, dude, turn that crap off.
I don't know what it is. He's on there. He has a lav mic. It's on there all the time. I can't figure it out.
Insane. So with that being said, we want to thank you again. XFLshow.com/merch, XFLshow.com/review. Buy the merch, review the show, please. We appreciate it. And we thank you again for listening. Tune in next week. See ya.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Later.